Away to the world across the seas, where pirates all have law degrees.
Welcome to our first episode of Canon Law. I'm Travis Anderson, your local attorney and host. Why this is a pirate-themed channel. Oftentimes when people ask me what I do for a living, I tell them I'm a pirate. It comes from, as you saw in the introductory theme to this channel, the pirate movie from the 80s where the Pirate King singing
Away to the world across the seas, where pirates all have law degrees.
It's always stuck with me. I thought that was funny when I was a young kid. And as I progressed and decided to go to law school and become an attorney, it's kind of stuck with me. So my family and friends joke with me about being a pirate. And today I will be trying to introduce people to hiring a lawyer. Why? So one of the things that I find is very common and consistent in my own practice is that people will be apprehensive to talk to lawyers.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And actually, lawyers are apprehensive to talk to people and, in fact, tell them that they're lawyers.
Like this.
So I'm an attorney in Texas. I operate a small family firm. We serve the people of Texas. We'll actually go anywhere in the state, primarily focus on auto accidents and work injuries. We do personal injury. I also do some administrative law, typically workers' comp and unemployment. But I wanted to reach out not just to tell people what I do and solicit people to call my office and hire me to represent you, but also to assuage any fear or apprehension a person might have in calling a lawyer. So one of the things I've noticed is with calls I've taken from people who live in my area, when they call law firms, oftentimes they are screened. Now, one of the reasons that people are screened when you call a law firm, usually talking to some kind of an intake specialist or even somebody who is a front desk or secretarial type person, that person is there to make sure that the attorney isn't inundated with telemarketers or other kinds of salespeople. Oftentimes, I will get a call that slips through the cracks in my own office where somebody claims to be calling about a case or even claims to be opposing counsel on an existing case with some vague details. And so my assistant passes me the call anyway and says, hey, this person's calling. Of course, I answer the phone call, solicit me to sell me some product. So that's one of the reasons why we do have screeners. But ultimately, in my own practice, in my own firm, I like to make myself readily available to my clients in order to kind of lower that level of fear that a person might have with hiring a lawyer. So the question is why would somebody be apprehensive in hiring a lawyer?
Don't be afraid.
You're probably right now, as I ask that question in your own mind, thinking, well, I can think of about 50 reasons.
Well, duh.
But I'm going to give you a couple just off the top of my own head. One of the reasons that people are often apprehensive to hire an attorney is that nobody likes to be involved in lawsuits. Lawsuits are scary. There's something that we watch on TV as entertainment.
Mr. Burns, we've got witnesses, precedent, and a paper trail a mile long.
They're not something we necessarily want to be involved in. In fact, lawyers are often apprehensive when somebody is on a jury, and we're always leery of the person who is really wanting to be on the jury. Because we always go, why? Why would you want to come sit here and listen to us drone on or explain some technical facts on some case? Because while it may sound attractive, and you see on TV it's so entertaining, and you have this really cool back and forth, the actual experience itself can be rather dull and boring.
This is boring.
Lawyers do what they can to try to be animated and to talk in a way that is enticing and helps people to remember and recollect what they've said. Because, of course, when they go back into the jury box, we want you to remember my voice and my face and hopefully find for me and my client. So that's what we're hoping. But so that's the first reason is people just don't want to be involved in the process. It looks great on TV and nobody wants to actually call and be involved in it. And of course, the other reasons is nobody wants to be sued. Nobody looks forward to the day that they get service of process from some process server who comes in and says, "Hey, are you so and so?" and then hands you papers.
And in case you didn't know, that was sarcasm.
Nobody likes that. Also, most people don't like to sue.
Yes, well, I have 10 high-priced lawyers.
I know that people love it when they've been injured and the opposing party, usually represented by an insurance company, reaches out to them to offer them some money to compensate them for the damages that the client or the insured person caused. That's always great. But when it really comes down to, hey, client, you may have to actually go to court and sit there for a few days or even a week or two in order to hear all of the evidence that's presented in your case, but also to testify yourself, be put on the spot, be subject to cross-examination. These aren't things that people usually look forward to.
You sure about that?
I think we've all seen depositions online where some celebrity or actor or politician or somebody is being deposed by lawyers, and we can all cringe at the lack of excitement that the person has in that experience. So again, the legal process can be a little bit intimidating and also can cause a degree of fear.
I'm afraid! All right? You want to hear me say it?
Humans have traditionally two fears, fear of death and the fear of public speaking.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so.
So obviously, when you're involved in some kind of litigation, you're going to have to public speak, and nobody wants to especially be questioned while they're public speaking and have somebody cross-examining them to get them to say this or that or the other in order to contradict themselves or whatever, to discredit their testimony.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
So nobody wants to be put to that. But with all that said, lawyers like their clients. We have difficult clients, obviously, and sometimes you have a difficult lawyer. But overall, and generally speaking, lawyers like to know that they did a good job helping somebody out of a jam. We all have problems. We all have issues that arise. Even lawyers sometimes have to hire lawyers.
Denny. Hello, Alan Shore.
So it's important to remember that when you're looking at something that happened in your life, before you go on to Google to try to resolve the claim or the issue yourself, maybe look for an attorney. I myself am very fond of receiving phone calls, even for areas of law that I don't practice, because I like to hear the story and I like to say, you know what are the issues that you may be having? And if I don't personally have the skill or aptitude to handle that specific issue, I know lawyers that may. And so a lot of lawyers work off of referrals, not just from past clients that they hope they've done a good job for and that will call them back, but also we want to give to other attorneys referrals so that that person can be helped by somebody that we trust and know is competent. I know I always feel good at the end of the day whenever I have passed on somebody who was struggling and I get a call a few weeks later saying, "Hey, thank you, Travis, so much for referring me to so-and-so. They were really great. They were really helpful."
Thank you.
So even if I don't directly handle the case, it's good to know that I was able to facilitate you getting to somewhere. So please reach out to lawyers. My firm here in San Antonio is Spencer Anderson. Our phone number is 210-699-0004. If you find yourself anywhere in Texas with a claim, feel free to call our office. Now, anything I mention as an outset with the fact that I do reside in and am licensed in the state of Texas, I want to let you know that I can't give you legal advice outside of the state of Texas. And so laws are different depending on states. And we'll talk about several fun issues as this channel progresses. We often see the so-called sovereign citizen movement happening.
I don't need to give you guys anything. I'm not contracting with the state, I'm not contracting with you whatsoever.
We'll discuss some of those issues and some of those cases and some other fun things on this channel. So with respect to personal injury cases, don't trust the AI, "Hey, we help you fill out forms and we get you the best settlement." I wouldn't trust that. I don't think that those are good avenues. I don't think that it's good for people to be researching the law without significant legal training and experience, because one of the jokes that we often say in law school is years and years ago is that a good lawyer knows the law and a great lawyer knows the judge. And what that means is that lawyers often have experience in the courtroom and with those who are associated with cases, opposing counsel, etc. And those relationships help to facilitate a better outcome on the case. So it's more than just legal knowledge, it's also an acumen and skill, but also the wisdom to know when you should push the case and when you should pull back, when you should negotiate and when you should fight.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
People often try to be enticing and say, hey, I fight everything and I'm a fighter and I'm a fighter. But oftentimes negotiation is really the key, and the key to resolving a case in your client's best interest is to be able to have the skills to negotiate, to see the ups and the downsides of both sides of a case, and to be able to pick the right people to be involved in that case. And all those takes wisdom and experience. So again, please reach out to an attorney if you have a legal issue. If you want to get my personal take and you're in the Texas area, call 210-699-0004. This is we're going to keep this episode short. In the future, I hope you'll be able to talk about a lot of other issues. Please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss those episodes. And also, too, in the comments, I would love to hear what your experiences have been talking to lawyers. What questions you might have that you want a lawyer to address. And I will probably also be doing some live streams in the future so that I can make myself available to those, because first and foremost, an attorney's job is to service the community and to try to help develop a rapport so that they are a servant. And so that's what I hope to do in my own practice. And so with that, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Away to the world across the seas, where pirates all have law degrees.